Ballinrobe Cóide, welcome indeed to another edition of the programme. Now don't forget, as always, we're heading over to Manchester where Martin Logan is standing by with some more great stories featuring the Irish community all over the UK. This week we're coming to you from the South Mayo capital of Ballinrobe, where there's been some tremendous news in the area when the Minister for Rural and Community Development, Michael Ring, officially opened the newly enhanced Bowers Walk in the town. The historical path is in place since the 1700s and extensive restoration works have now been carried out along the route. Here's Mayo County Council Tourism Officer Anna Connor.
Today we have Minister Michael Ring arriving here this morning to officially open this new section, phase 1 of the Bowers Walk. So we're delighted to welcome him here to Ballinrobe this morning.
And it's all part of a bigger project for the area, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's big plans, as you know, in terms of developing the tourism product in the county. This is one of the many necklace of attractions. So we're delighted to have the first phase. There are plans to start implementing the second phase. We got an additional 200,000 from Minister Ring's department, so work is about to commence on that. But overall, yeah, we're hoping to link it into the bigger, wider network of trails that we've developed here in the county.
And what will this money be spent on now with this 100,000?
Yeah, to date, from the first phase, the money that was spent already was to upgrade the existing path. So it was widen the existing path to make it more pedestrian friendly and user friendly to all different types of users. It takes in just under 2 kilometres. It's hugely appealing. And even at this stage, it's very heavily been used, and there is a huge anticipation for phase 2 to be rolled out.
And when will that happen and when will it be completed?
Well, works is to commence on that straight away, and it is anticipated that should be hopefully well underway before the end of the year, but maybe it's officially finished maybe towards early next year. That's kind of the thinking about it at this stage, or the thought about it at this stage.
What does this mean now over for tourism in South Mayo?
I think it's adding to the tourism offering that's there. Like this offering was always here, and it's a fantastic resource. But to enhance it, to encourage extra usage and extra users, I think what it would do. We're getting a lot of people travelling here to Mayo because we're on the back of the Wild Atlantic Way, but we're giving people a reason to stay for longer and increased dwell time. And in return, it is hoped that people will stay in the areas longer and spend money. So that's ultimately our aim and our objective.
I'm delighted to be here today in Ballinrobe. This is a very particular big day for us in Ballinrobe in relation to the regeneration of the Bowers Walk, because this has been an integral part of Ballinrobe since the 1700s, and this walk has been used by our forefathers and all belonging to us down through the years. So it has been a wonderful piece of infrastructure, but it had gone into deterioration over a period of time. So some years ago we put roughly 200,000 here, and at my background here, that new bridge had to be replaced because it was the old bridge was deemed unsafe, and that took an awful lot from the first tranche of money. So I'm delighted that there's approximately in this 300,000 has been spent in the last a number of months here. It mostly improving the towpath and the facilities around it. Like you could say, there is more to be done as well, and I suppose the big thing in South Mayo now is to improve on the extension of the Toher Valley Walk to bring us right in from that will include in the lakes, come right into Ballinrobe, and eventually on to the canal between here and Cong to link that as well. So I think we're working towards it as a plan. It'll take a while, but it's moving there. So today, I suppose, is historical in the sense that it's a great investment in our town, and we want to pay special thanks to Minister Ring for his involvement, and to the Tidy Towns and to everybody that's involved here, Thus and Foss and Rural Source Scheme. Everybody has played their hand here at certain times, and in the past the money wasn't too plentiful, and it was people like that and the local authorities that kept it moving, even though we had many complaints about the towpath and it was dangerous, and we understood that, but we tried our best to keep it going. And today it's great that we're here we'd be here for bad days, but this is a good day.
The Bowers just finished here. There was a 150,000 project. We've got more money already to extend it further, heading back towards the lake, which will make a proper greenway out of it. It's all part of a bigger plan to connect Cong to Moore Hall, which eventually connect onto the greenway, which we've got funding for to survey the route. So this job is definitely going in the right direction anyways.
And there are other development plans for the town as well, aren't there?
Yes, the library is after getting funding announcement today of over €1 million, which is unbelievable. There was a huge community effort which raised over 400,000. to help get this up and running. So I think it's a $7.5 million project overall, or something in that kind of range of figures. So yeah, and that's one of the small projects going on. There's big works in the library, has been done up in recent years. The courthouse, which I think is one of the first sittings of the Irish Free State, has got funding in the last few years to get done up. So yeah, the town is definitely moving in the right direction.
And you've come up with this new slogan now, Believe in Ballinrobe, which seems to be catching the imagination.
Yeah, it's for everybody really, in that, and I was as bad as anybody. In the last few years, we were very quick to say there's nothing on in the town, or no one's doing anything in the town. But at some stage, someone has to say, well, I'm that person to do it. So I think that's where Believe in Ballinrobe came from. They were trying to get the community to buy into us, and everybody give a small bit of their time, and we all go together. Like next week we have the festival, which is last year was an amazing success. This year they've increased it dramatically. It looks like it's going to sell out again. Big acts playing, so people are beginning to believe in the town and buy into it.
It all started with a capital programme that, as a controlling body on the authority in the last local government, that we rolled out a programme of investment around the county, and this was one of the projects that we prioritised and we ring-fenced money for. And as a result, the Department and the Minister saw fit to follow the roadmap that we had set out. I'm delighted to see that it's a massive project. It's a massive amenity for Ballinrobe town, and I'm delighted to see that here we are today unveiling what has been something that's very much appreciated, and something that is in support of tourism and in support of amenities around the town.
This is a wonderful facility to have in a town, and I suppose from the negative side, you have to get out of the car and walk down along here to see the magnificent facility that is in town here, a walk along a river, an unusual thing in most towns in Mayo, the extent that we have it. Hopefully someday we'll see that continued on down to Alapmask, and it'll be a fabulous walk. And I want to compliment Michael Ring and Mayo County Council for their commitment to it and the money, and I understand there will be more announcements in the very near future, and I say the very near future, to continue the good work. A local group of people got together some time ago and they made this their priority, a group of young enthusiasts, and they got the work committed to, and in fairness they were knocking on an open door with Michael Ring, and he has provided the money and more funding online for it.
Here this morning, and I've announced already we have the phase 1 of the Bowers Walk. We have given them 850 for the public realms, and phase 2 after the Bowers Walk. This is a fantastic facility. I mean, when people see this and come and walk it, and people love this in Ballinrobe, it's given a great lift to the town. But also this morning, I was delighted to be here to be able to announce 1,050,000 for the town hall. 750,000 has come from the Department of Arts, Culture and the Gaeltacht, and 300,000 from my own department from the Leader programme. And I have to say 1,050,000 plus the contribution from the council and the local contribution going to make a fantastic job for Ballinrobe. Ballinrobe is a fantastic town, fantastic racecourse, fantastic Bowers Walk. They also have the fantastic golf club. They have the fishing. So this town has great potential. We're regenerating this town, and we are going to give it a lift. I give 100,000 to the town and village for the courthouse, 100,000 as well for another project there in the town for the town and village. So when this is all developed, Ballinrobe will be regenerated. And you can see the enthusiasm here now from the new group of people, the Town Hall Committee, and then you have the community group itself. Everybody is working together now. Everybody is on the same hymn sheet. That's why Ballinrobe is really, really doing well. It went through a very difficult time, but now this town is on the way up. It's a great town to live in, it'll be a great town to work in. You have McHale's, a major international company out the road, and there's a lot of facilities here in this town, and all I can say is I'm glad to be here today to announce the 1,050,000 for the town hall, and for phase 2 with the Bowers, that funding is in place, and when we get the public realms around the town, Henry, you'll be back to open that with me, and this town will be regenerated.
As a proud Ballinrobe person, it's lovely to see these kind of projects coming to fruition. And the announcement about the town hall really is so wonderful. As somebody who in my youth trod the boards in the musical societies and whatever, it's lovely to think that beating heart of the community will be put back again very soon. But to talk about this project today, this is a beautiful amenity that the town I suppose maybe had forgotten how wonderful it was, to see it revitalised again today. You know, it's a source of great pride, and it's a great thing for the town and for the people who use this facility.
And this was phase 1, the Minister opened today. Phase 2 now, there's another big major investment going into that.
That's right. Phase 2 will be a continuation of this walk, but it will be a brand new walk insofar as it will be taking the old towpath that followed the line of the robe all the way to the lake, and it's our intention to try and develop a walking path all the way there. So phase 2 is taking another couple of 100 metres of that and developing it hopefully by this time next year.
And this is all part of a master plan for the county, isn't it, for Mayo County Council, and the tourism aspect of it as well, because it's going to link up with other areas and this whole South Mayo region.
Exactly. As part of, I suppose, building the brand of Mayo as being a place that really is unsurpassed as a place to enjoy the outdoors, for adventure tourism or for sports tourism, or just to be able to enjoy the outdoors. What we have, and we've been very lucky to be able to access funds through the Minister's Department for outdoor recreation and then also for tourism related projects. So it's our grand plan to have a series of iconic visitor attractions. They already exist insofar as we have Crowpatrick, we have Westport Town. Ballinrobe Abbey, I think, is an exciting project that we will see coming to fruition very soon. Ballinrobe here and Moore Hall, all linked by an outdoor trail. At the moment we're calling it a spiritual trail because it's connecting sites that resonate very strongly with people who are looking for that connection with nature and maybe with something greater. So it will start in Cong, wind its way through Ballinrobe, Moore Hall, Ballinrobe Abbey, and then on to Westport and Crowpatrick. So we're very, very excited. It's a long-term plan, but it's one we intend to stick with.
It's a day for celebration. It's a day for celebration for acknowledging the extraordinary potential in this development. Hopefully it will be a part of a combined tourism effort which will attract large numbers of tourists to Cong, to Ballinrobe, hopefully to Moore Hall and to Ballinrobe. I can see this developing into one major tourism project, and that's the overall plan, I know, and I know the department recognise that as well. But with that, I want to thank you again for your attendance. It's good to see so many familiar faces. I actually just see Liam Hanrahan there. I forgot to acknowledge his presence. Liam from Senior Executive in Castlebar. But I want to thank all of you for coming here on this nasty morning. I wish this project the very best of luck. We will do our best as we have done. We have made a contribution of €30,000 from Mayo County Council towards this project, and we will continue to support projects like this on an ongoing basis. But keep up the good work, keep up the demands, and we will respond to people who attempt to look after themselves. Thank you.
Now, I'd like to welcome everybody to Ballinrobe today, and particularly Minister Ring. On behalf of the Ballinrobe community, what Michael Ring has done for this town is unbelievable, and the funding he's given to the revival of the Bowers has been immense. But not only that, but he's promised more funding, which is something we're all very excited about to see which way it's going to go forward. As you can see today, well, you can't see today because of the rain, but on a normal day you can see the Bowers is an amazing amenity to have in this town. The sense of pride has been helped create in the town since we've refurbished it has been unbelievable, and it's great to see so many people, young and old, using it on a regular basis, and it shows the best that Ballinrobe has in heritage and scenery. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all the different organisations, groups, people involved in submitting countless applications, all with the aim of improving Ballinrobe, and also the Mayo County Council who helped support us this. And my own personally from Robert Coyne to Mayo County Council, who I plagued numerous times, so hopefully he gets thanks. He's not here today to get it, but I'd like to thank Deirdre Cunningham and Siobhan Sexton, who did brilliant work on the public realm plan, which gives us a good blueprint for where the town is going to be going forward, and it's something that should be an amazing facility to have. Finished, just want to say, people are beginning to believe in Ballinrobe again, and all these help, and long may it continue. Thank you.
Ballinrobe is a town that's alive and well. Ballinrobe is a town that's regenerating itself. And I want to say this morning to the people of Ballinrobe and to everybody from Ballinrobe. I want to hear of the future. I mean, this facility here today, you have a fantastic golf club out the road, you have a fantastic racing course down the road, and Ballinrobe is on the way back. And it went through a difficult time, like many, many towns in this country. And I want to say to people this morning, I want to hear people talking this town up. Long enough we have people talking downtown. And I'll give an example. Recently, there was somebody, and Catherine knows this, and Peter Hines himself told me, they were looking at developing something in this town. And there was comments made, not about Ballinrobe, about another town. And on Facebook, and as I call it, the faceless book, because people wouldn't say to you to your face what to say on the faceless book. And it's an awful way that you have to live, and it's an awful way that people have to be looking down and looking at this all night. And if that's what keeps them happy, good luck to them. And if that's the way they think they can be insulting people, they wouldn't say to your face what they would say to you on Facebook. And our faceless book, I would never call it Facebook. I'd have to say that if they couldn't say it to your face, they shouldn't say it at all. But you know, bad comments like that do damage to towns. When people are coming in to invest in any town, and when people are coming to live into a town, the first thing they'll do, they'll Google the positive of it, and they'll look for what the positives are, and they'll also look to see what the negatives are, because they want to make sure that they're in a town that is good for their family and good for themselves. Catherine just talked about the different things that are happening here in the town. One of the things I did myself, I put Ballinrobe in the pilot town for 100,000, and that's just asking the people of Ballinrobe and the 6 towns that we have picked to come back to government and tell us what they think most would help them and assist them to be able to regenerate the town. And this morning, and before I forget, I want to say to all the councillors that are here, I want to congratulate them all and thank them for putting their names forward in the recent local elections. It's a credit to them for putting their names forward, and to the people that put their names forward that weren't elected, I want to thank them as well. Democracy is not perfect, but dictatorship has never worked. And I want to say to the councillors and the elected representatives, well done, congratulations, and thank you for what you do for your community. And I'd like you to give the councillors a big round of applause for their work. This morning, there's something I have to say, and I see some of the people here. They're here from the Town Hall Committee. And I know they've worked very hard over the last few years, and I know there's been a major contribution made. Catherine, you talked about it there earlier, and there has been a major contribution made by the people of Ballinrobe. And Michael Burke and Michael Sweeney and Siobhan O'Malley have been on to me on many occasions, came to Dublin, you came to my office on several occasions. We had a long road to go, and we have a long road to go. But this morning, I want to say to you, I want to thank you for the great commitment that you've all put in to getting that project up and running, because I think that'll be the key, it'll be the key of what's needed to redevelop this town. And this morning, it gives me great pleasure, as Minister for Rural and Community Development, on behalf of the Minister for Culture, Heritage and the Gaeltacht, to announce here this morning in Ballinrobe 750,000 from that department and 300,000 from the leader. That's 1,050,000 to the town of Ballinrobe this morning, and I'll have to say that's not a bad deliverance on a Friday morning. So the show is on, the town hall is on, and I know the local contribution has been made, and I'm delighted, as I say, you worked very hard, and I'm really pleased that it happened. That, as Catherine has talked about, the 825,000 we've given the department for particularly the public realms, and the continuation of phase 2 of the Bowers, and also in relation to the library. My department have responsibility for libraries. The Rural Regeneration Scheme is a scheme that's working very well, and I have no doubt that she will be coming back for further projects. Again, I want to thank the councillors, them all, for the work that they put into it, but particularly the community group themselves, and the local contribution that was collected here locally. That was very important. That was the selling point of us actually being able to get the money for the town hall. So I think this morning we're opening phase 1. Phase 2 has gone out for tender, and I see a man down there with an umbrella over him, and he used to be always saying to me, you don't deliver anything to Ballinrobe. Well, I have to say, I have delivered to Ballinrobe now, and let nobody say that I haven't. Whether it's sporting facilities, cultural facilities, outdoor recreation facilities, town and village facilities, they're all done, and I'm just saying to you, I never forgot Ballinrobe even when it wasn't in my area, and I want to say this morning, I'm very pleased to be here. And I want to say to Jerry O'Neill, and I'm going to ask Jerry to say a few words, because one of these fundings was depending on the other. The later funding couldn't be sanctioned if we hadn't the funding from the Heritage. And Josepha Madigan this morning, I spoke to her this morning, there's just 2 little things that had to be, a little bit in the Irish language and a bit of feasibility study, and that's all that had to be done. But I assure you, the money is there, it's approved, and 1,050,000 for Ballinrobe this morning. I think it's not a bad morning, and I'm delighted to be here to open the Bowers. I'm not going to say any more. Again, to the elected representatives, thank you for being here. To the general public, thank you for being here. And to Ballinrobe, I think again, Dave, you covered it very well. This town is alive and well. This town is on the way back. This town has so much to offer. I want to say to people, you should be proud of this town. And my job particularly in rural regeneration. My job in relation to the town and village scheme, my job in the pilot scheme that I've set up is to try and get towns like Ballinrobe up and moving again. And let's look at things differently. People are saying these towns are dead. No, they're not. I'll tell you what's wrong. The small shops are over, whether we like it or don't like it. The multinationals have taken over. The multinationals are under pressure from the online shopping now. And we have to look at different ways, different things, to do things differently in towns and villages. And the local authority have a part to play. I have a part to play. Government has a part to play. I've been making submissions to the Minister for Finance. We need to be able to, Derelict Sites Act has to be used more. Some pilot scheme will have to be done to regenerate some of these places to get people back living in towns again. And the best way to get people back living in towns again is to do up the public realms, make the town beautiful and nice, have walks and facilities like this, and by doing that, we're giving Ballinrobe and every other Ballinrobe in this county and this country an opportunity. Thanks again, Catherine. Thanks you all for attending here today. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm delighted to be able to announce the funding that Ballinrobe have been waiting for a long time. Thank you very much.
This is a tremendous amenity for the town of Ballinrobe here, the Bowers Walk.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's something that a lot of work has gone into in recent years, both from the point of view of clearing it and also the walkways around here, creating a new walkway and kind of a focus to try and turn Ballinrobe back towards the river. So we're very excited about this.
So this Believe in Ballinrobe is going to be an ongoing event now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a concept around civic pride. It's a kind of a way of saying, well, look, we have all these great groups in the town. How do we unite them? How do we kind of create this kind of sense of, are people aware of what's here already? So it's not trying to be anything different. It's not a new committee or anything like that. Hashtag Believe in Ballinrobe is about saying, this is all here. These people are all here. How can we connect some of these new people to all these different groups and kind of mining all the skill sets that are in the town individually, and then kind of switching around between the clubs and making sure that everyone has what they need. They get the support that they need, and there's a message out there that people can be proud of. So yeah, Believe in Ballinrobe has been a big part in the energy that's around the town in recent years.
Yeah, tremendous concept. As a businessman in town as well, what do you think? I know there's great news about the town hall here in recent weeks and the finance for it. What else do you think Ballinrobe needs from your point of view, being a business person in town?
I think Ballinrobe has everything it needs, but it just needs an awareness of what's here. I just think people just need to utilise the facilities. You're seeing behind us here with the water. Just make use of it. Think about what's here in a different way than maybe we have before, and kind of just ask yourself, is there more that we can do collectively, working together, from that perspective? Not necessarily all the time looking outside for support, because we get plenty of support from councils. You heard, as you mentioned, the town hall is a great investment in terms of the government and in terms of what was announced by Michael Ring, but also that came off the back of a massive fundraising drive over 3-4 years and a belief that this could make a difference. So I think we have what we need. I just think people need to focus on maybe just kind of turning their heads towards, right, let's look within and let's work together and make the town better. And that's happening. And I think hopefully we can be an example for any small market town in Ireland of what can be achieved.
What a wonderful amenity to have in the heart of the town. It's a gem for locals and tourists alike. Well, that's where we come to the end of the programme. Don't forget there will be a repeat of this programme on Saturday evening next at 8 o'clock. And coming up after the break, as we mentioned earlier on, we're heading over to Manchester to join Martin Logan. And I look forward to your company at the same time next week. So until then, slán go fóill.